Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Keeping It Real with Coach Neal. Alongside the head coach of the UNCW women's soccer team, Chris Neal, I'm Eric Rue. And Coach, another two-game week for you. Glad to be at home. You had Middle Tennessee on Friday night and Virginia Tech here on Sunday for the Battle of the Beach. And let's talk about the tournament as a whole. 3 games decided by a goal out of the 4 contests. Had to be pretty pleased with the level of effort across the entire weekend.
Yeah, there were really good games on both days. Friday, just awesome competition between Charleston and Virginia Tech first, and then I thought we played really well against MTSU, who's also a very good team. And then on Sunday, you never know what that Sunday is going to look like because it's hot, and it is less than 48 hours later from combat on Friday night. So, but all 4 teams, I was super stoked with the quality of play, and I think all 4 teams got out of the tournament what they wanted.
Take a look back at that Friday night win, a 5-1 victory over the Blue Raiders, and Audrey Harding, such an unassuming personality off the field, but in watching her Friday night, it looked like she was determined to put the ball in the back of the net. She scored twice and had 2 helpers as well.
Audrey doesn't need a lot of chances to finish, and I think right now she's got players around her that are drawing so much attention that it helps Audrey find time and space. Moxley has been fantastic out on the right wing. Jordan Fabry's been great on the left wing. Obviously Dom's out, but she was drawing a lot of attention. And then players that are coming in off the bench are providing energy in the areas around Audrey as well. So Audrey just doesn't need a lot of chances to finish, and she is benefiting from a lot of hard work around her as well.
Audrey now with 4 goals on the season, leads the team with 10 points. And you fast forward now to Sunday, Virginia Tech, another nationally ranked opponent, you're second in 3 games. The Hokies came in at number 16, hadn't allowed a lot of goals on the year and really made things difficult for your squad, a 1-0 loss. What was it about Virginia Tech's play that made them so difficult?
They're athletic, they're well coached and organized. You can see exactly who they are trying to be from a playing standpoint. And I'll tell you what they did after watching on video. I had a feeling about it watching the game, but their field players did an incredible job of blocking shots on their own. And then their goalkeeper is excellent, and she played phenomenally in the second half. First half there was a little bit of a wind going straight down the field, so Virginia Tech had the win in the first half, and they were the more dominant team in the first half, but then we had it in the second half, and we were the dominant team, and their goalkeeper stood strong, and their field players did a great job of blocking shots. So you can see why they don't give up a lot of goals.
Free kick in the 26th minute provided the margin of defeat for the Seahawks on Sunday, but it looked like in that second half, especially late, that you had momentum going in your favor, and it was just a matter of trying to get the ball in the back of the net. You had some quality chances in the closing minutes.
I think we created the best true chance of the game. And again, their goalkeeper stood strong. They scored off a free kick. We had that exact same free kick in the second half, and they executed. We did not. That's sports. The team that executes is going to win. So we have to look at some things and figure out how to polish that up going into conference play.
3 players named to the all-tournament team: Audrey Harding, Emily Moxley, and sophomore Alyssa McLaughlin. And you said to me on Sunday, as we were talking about the all-tournament team selections, that you were really impressed with Alyssa's play, especially against Virginia Tech on Sunday. What was it about her performance that stood out to you?
I thought that was our most complete defensive performance of the year against arguably our strongest opponent. So Alyssa she seemed to be everywhere. She read play well. She got inside of runs and protected the ball. She drew a lot of fouls. She actually got forward and got into the midfield as well. And she was causing havoc on both sides of the ball. I thought it was her best performance of the year.
2 games in less than 48 hours. It's not the first time you've had that this year, but having it at home this season, how do you think your team managed that with such a tough turnaround?
I thought they were fine. And you saw on Sunday we became the stronger team in the second half. And our substitutes on Friday night plays a big part in what you look like in the second half on a Sunday. So that's how we managed it, by using depth.
Audrey Harding was named the CAA's Co-Offensive Player of the Week on Monday. Again, 2 goals and 2 assists on Friday night. And her second career brace, both of them coming at home this year. She's really stepped up to become an offensive leader for you. Obviously, the individual accolades are great, but talk about how she's been able to help this team push forward as you close out non-conference play.
She's a quiet assassin. She doesn't say much. She is the most humble, nicest young woman you'll ever meet. But on the field, she's got a little bit different personality with the ball at her feet, and that's how she makes an impact. Again, she doesn't need a lot of chances to finish. She's got a very professional quality to her goals, and she's not going to be the player that takes 20 shots and scores 1. She's going to be the player that takes 5 shots and scores 3. So I don't know how you teach that quality. I think a lot of it is innate. She's a very polished goal scorer.
You said on Sunday after the game when talking to the media that you break down the season into 4 segments: preseason, non-conference, conference play, and postseason. Mm-hmm. With that said, you've now reached the halfway mark with non-conference play closing out on Sunday. As you look at the first 2 segments of your season, how do you assess your team through the first 7 games?
I like where we're at right now. You want to be peaking when you go into conference play, and I think we're doing that. I think we're finally starting to put a variety of elements together within the 90 minutes. Early in the season, it was we'd be great at one thing on the Thursday or Friday, and then we'd be great at something different on the Sunday, and we'd forget about what we did good on the Friday. So it was frustrating. But we played a tough schedule. We're 4-3, and it feels like all the elements are doing this. And I know our team is incredibly jacked up and ready to go.
A little bit of a break in the schedule now. 11 days between the game against Virginia Tech and your conference opener against Elon, which will be a week from Thursday. How do you kind of manage that 11-day break? Obviously, knowing that the student athletes have to go to class and take care of their business, but trying to keep them from maybe slacking off a little bit in terms of that competitive nature.
It's hard and it's not ideal, and you want to try and avoid this, but when I inherited this schedule a year ago, we tried to get a game to fit in there, and we could not get a game that made sense. All the games that were available to us it involved too much travel. It would be on the Sunday, which is not ideal when you're going to be on the road conference play on the Thursday. So it just did not work out. So we do have a task in front of us of a 10-day gap and keeping the team sharp. But I think it's also a good chance for us to, decompress, hit the restart button a little bit, make sure they're taking care of their academics, and manage all those external stresses that could affect performance going into conference play. So there's a positive and a negative to it.
Is there an advantage in knowing that a lot of teams may be playing this weekend? You get that little bit of a break, so you get to have a little bit more data or information on those opponents as you prepare for them?
Well, we will get a chance to watch, just truly watch our opponents instead of having the stress of playing and watching. So there's a slight advantage in that. But again, I think we're going to have to be incredibly professional in our approach and manage these next 10 days very well so that we're flying on the 26th.
Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck in managing that break, and we'll chat with you again next week as we prepare for the Phoenix in your conference opener.
Thanks.
That's head coach Chris Neal. I'm Eric Ruth. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Keeping It Real. We'll see you next week.